when you have a banana plant, for example, you can replant. In other words, make more. You can replant the tree or the plant. Replant the plant. That sounds kind of stupid. We'll say replant the bananas. We'll replant the bananas when this tree has produced the bananas there. This will die, and what we can do is cut off this part here, which already will start to have a small tree growing from it. We'll cut off this rhizome. Cut off the rhizome, and we'll move it because there's going to be two little banana plants here. Cut those off. You can move this one maybe over here, and the roots will grow and it will produce more bananas. Now that's a rhizome plant. You can also plant from seed. Now seed would grow a onion, for example. So onions grow from seed. That's what we say. Onions grow from seed. Seeds make onions. If seeds make onions, what you can do is when your onion is in the ground, like this, it will, if you leave it, it will make seeds. So you collect the seeds and you can plant them in the ground, and you will make more onions. You will replant the seeds. Or maybe I should say first that you would save the seeds. So you'll first save the seeds, which will allow you to grow more onions. Good day, everyone. Let's go over how to talk more like the native speaker and how to slur the words together. So, I'm going to call this lesson Slurring Number 1. Slurring Number 1. So for the most obvious one would be, I'm going to visit my friend. I'm gonna visit my friend. I'm gonna visit my friend. I'm gonna visit my friend. So if you only study English videos on the internet or in a classroom and the person is pronouncing everything like I'm going to visit my friend, and somebody comes up to you and says, when are you going to visit your friend? You're not going to understand. What I just said was, when are you going to visit your friend? When are you going to visit your friend? Or you can just say, when are you going to visit your friend? So you're really taking out a bunch of words here. You say, when you going to visit your friend? So the R is completely gone when you're talking. Now when you write, you have to write, when are you going to visit your friend? But when you're talking, just say, when you gonna. See, going to turns into gonna visit your friend. So maybe I should write this a little differently. When are. So when are you gonna, or when you gonna. This turns into like when you gonna visit your friend. So the your, this turns into like your. Your turns into your. I'm gonna visit my friend. Now that's only one example. I gotta do more here. See, like I said, gotta do more. I gotta do more. Of course, that's not very good English. I should change my pen here. I dropped it on the floor. That's good. Pick this thing up. Okay, now I'm ready. I gotta do more. This isn't a word. It's a fake word. So what we're saying is I have to do more. But what we're saying is I gotta do more. This is like got to. But you can't really in proper English say I got to do more. You have to say I have to do more or I must do more. But when you're talking in real life, just say I gotta do more. I gotta do more exercise. You know, I gotta do more biking. I gotta do more work so I can make more money. I gotta do more work to make more money to buy a new TV. Today we have a very special lesson. What is a mutant and what is mutation? Well, to answer that, a mutant is when you have one creature, like a man, that turns into something different. Such as this monster. That is a mutation. So the man turns into the monster, which is now the mutant. This is the man, this is the mutant. The process is mutation. The process is mutation. For example, so we have a friendly turtle. Nice turtle. Very fat leg, but very nice turtle. Let's say the turtle decides he's going to mutate. So he really thinks hard and he says, you know what, I want to fly. So he turns into some kind of flying turtle. Like this, with great big wings. Now he's extremely happy because the turtle can now fly. The turtle mutated by growing wings. This is a mutant. Yes, this is a mutant. So, what other forms of mutation are there? Well, this is a pretty obvious form of mutation, but what you can also have is cellular mutation. You have cellular mutation. It means you have for example, let's say you have a plant cell, like this. This is a plant cell. And during the process of dividing into new cells, for example, this could be, let's say this is a banana tree, right? It's our banana tree, and these are the cells, little tiny cells in between that make the banana tree. Well, let's say it's changing, and what happens is the tree decides that it needs to fight an enemy, such as some ants. So you got these little ants, or in this case monster ants, that are eating the tree. So it says, you know what, we have to change, we need to get bigger. So all of a sudden you've got these cells dividing faster and faster. Maybe they change shape. Maybe they change shape into like this. There, now the cell has mutated to a new shape. And now because the cell is a different shape, the tree is now way up here. And it's more tree to fight off the ants. So that is cellular mutation of a plant cell. In this case, it's a banana. Hello everyone. Today we have another lesson about slurring. Let's learn the first example. Please direct your eyesight towards the board where you see a phrase, when did you? When you say, when did you, you can change this into a slur. When ja. So for example, when did you go shopping? When did you go shopping? You can simply say, when did you go shopping? When did you go shopping? And the answer, I went at 4 o'clock. I went at 4 o'clock. I went at 4 o'clock. So when you pronounce it, all you really change is I went at 4 o'clock. I went at 4 o'clock. If you speak quickly, but really you say, I went at 4 o'clock. I went at 4 o'clock. Slight difference. I went at 4 o'clock and I went at 4 o'clock. I went at 4 o'clock. It's not really. It's not really good. It's not really good. So the way to slur this together is, it's not really good. It's not really good. So you see, we take the so-called proper pronunciation, it's not really good, and we really say, it's not really good. It's not. But remember, this is just talking. When you write, always write this. But when you talk, native speakers say this ridiculous, it's not really good. But remember, see, this is actually a word, snot, which is in your nose. You have snot. So search that, do a Google search, and you'll see what that is. It's not really good. It's a pretty excellent lesson, I know. What are the reasons? What are the reasons? What are the reasons? When you slur that together, it's what are the reasons? What are the reasons? Isn't it true? Isn't it true? You pronounce this, isn't it true? Isn't it true? Isn't it true that you saw the man walking down the street yesterday? Isn't it true? Nobody talks like that. Everyone says, isn't it true? It's one word like that. Bam, isn't it true? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What you gonna do? That's how you can say that. What are you going to do? What are you gonna do? You will often hear people say, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, or what ya gonna do? What ya gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you going to do? So you can always listen closely and hear people using different ways of mushing and slurring all these words together. Welcome to Teacher Phil's English School. If you direct your attention to the front board, you will learn a variety of valuable topics. Thank you and enjoy the ride. Critical mass is when something is big enough to sustain itself, or to keep itself alive, or to keep itself going very well. Now, I'll give you some examples of critical mass. The most common example would be in business. So, for example, let's say I have a company this big. This is my little store, and this store is actually losing money. Let's say I sell maybe $10,000, but the cost me, say, $20,000. So I'm losing $10,000. Well, that has not reached critical mass. The store hasn't reached critical mass. The store has not reached critical mass. So, what we need to do is increase the size of the store and sell more stuff. So, for example, get rid of this. There we go. Now, sales, we actually call it sales, not sell. So the sales are $1 million. Profit, say our profit is $100,000. Let's say we make $100,000 every year. That's a heck of a lot better than the old example where we were losing $10,000. Now, we have reached critical mass. We have reached critical mass. Now, this is also used in science when you have space or chemical reactions. So, for example, let's say that there is a astronaut, like let's say here's Earth. Not astronaut. Let's say there's a big rock coming to Earth, a big rock. And this rock starts out small, and let's say other rocks are sticking to it. Now that's kind of unrealistic, but it's probably possible if it has a lot of gravity. So let's say it gets bigger and bigger until it's this size. Well, now it's reached critical mass. So it can destroy Earth. It's reached critical mass, so it can destroy Earth. That's critical mass. You can also use it for a problem. A problem, for example, let's say we have debt. And let's say our country has debt of, I don't know, $20 trillion. And our economy is only $10 trillion. Also known as GDP. Let's say our debt is $20 trillion, our economy is $10 trillion. Well, this could be, you could say our debt has reached critical mass. Thank you for viewing, and please check back later. Welcome to today's educational program, where you will learn about the bellwether. A bellwether has nothing to do with weather. Nothing to do with weather. Who came up with this crazy idea? I don't know, but we're going to learn what it is. So, a bellwether is something that tells us what is going to happen. Do you like how when I make a T and cross it over, it's like one letter? Get rid of that. Alright. So something that will tell us what will happen. So for example, let's say that all of the companies that make cars are going bankrupt. So car companies are going bankrupt. Well, car companies could be a bellwether to tell us about jobs. So, if the company is making cars, if this goes bankrupt, we're going to have... Are we going to have jobs? No. So, the bankruptcy of these companies is a bellwether for jobs. Similarly, when you have people, there could be certain bellwethers within your community. For example, if people have no job and many people have no job, that could be a bellwether for crime. So people could start stealing, right? Oh, I was going to break into this car here. This is a car. See 2 wheels? This is the back of the car, license plate, some lights. That's pretty nice. Yeah, if I had a car, it would not look like that, because that's an ugly car. And I would be driving something sporty with a spoiler. Check this out. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So he's stealing the car because he has no job. So he might cut the car up into pieces and sell them on the internet. That's an interesting business for unemployed people. But the important part here is to see that if many people have no job, that's the bellwether to tell us there might be more crime. Or there might be more people at the gas station begging for money. So you could have your gas station. Everybody loves the gas station. And there could be just guys here saying, hey man, he's got his cup. And he's like, give me money, you know? And you're like, no, go away. I hate you. And you're like, hey man, I don't have a job. And you're like, yeah, I don't have a job either. And he says, well, let's go to the store and buy some. Oh, we don't have any money. Oh, let's go steal a car. Okay. On the go. If something's on the go, it means it is currently happening. So, for example, if I am building a new house, it is on the go. So you could ask, hey, when's your... Oh, good spelling. Look at that. Spelling is not my forte. When's your house built? That's probably the worst sentence ever made. Maybe I should change this. When will your house be built? That's a little more proper. Get my professionalism here. Even though it still looks like crap because this will is so small. Anyway, hey, when will your house be built? Hey man, when will your house be built? That's a great question. It's on the go. Oh, really? Oh, it's on the go? Thank you for telling me. Oh, I really appreciate your your honest and quick opinion and information. Thank you. Very nice. There's also another expression. It's a go. I wrote a little note here so I remember. It's a go. So let me erase all this stuff. I'll change this one a little bit. I say it's a go. It's a go. This means yes, or we can do that, or it's approved. So for example, let's say I have a business and I want to move it. So here's my office, right? Say my office is in this building on this part here. And someone asks me, they say, hey, can we move our office? I say, move our office? It's a go. Yes, it's a go. Yes, it's a go. Or, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? Do you want to go to that Mexican restaurant on 41st Street? You think, it's a go. That means yes, I want to go. Or yes, we can do that. Thank you for viewing, and please continue to watch. A motley crew is different from the motley crew, as in the band. So the band, motley crew, I think that's how they spell it with these O and U. So the motley crew, that's not the same, but you'll understand why they call it the motley crew in a second here. If you say a motley crew, it's just kind of a slang, an old slang from about the 17th century. And it really means a group of bad people, basically. A group of no goodniks. A group of no goodniks. That's just old slang. So if you want to make real people talk, you can say a group of bad behaving people. So if you have a group of bad behaving people, you can call that a motley crew. So that's why the band, the motley crew, calls themselves that, because they consider themselves to be a group of bad people who run around just doing partying and doing crazy stuff, right? So that's all that means. And where the word motley comes from is a type of fabric. So the clothing was a motley type, which means it has different colors. Typically 3 or more colors. And if you know what a jester is like a clown, kind of an old clown. These people wore motley fabric, which had 3 or more colors, and apparently they would run around and just cause a lot of trouble. The word sacked has different meanings. I'm going to explain a couple of them now. The first one would be in football, American football that is, which doesn't use your foot for anything other than running, so why did they call it football? I don't know. Anyway, in American football we have when the quarterback gets tackled or run out of bounds before he can throw the ball, basically, before throw. So for example, if here's the quarterback and he's getting ready to throw the ball, and some guy runs into him, tackles him, that means he got sacked. So the quarterback was sacked. Now that's only for football. So in people terms, that's as if I'm implying that footballers aren't people. Footballers, that now I'm talking like an English person. Football players are not people. Okay, so sacked in terms of people is usually used for business when you get fired. So to get fired. Remember that stupid show Donald Trump, and he's like The Apprentice or whatever, and he's like, I have to say, I like you, but you're fired. I hate that show. Okay, anyway. That means, so Donald Trump is sacking his people. Sacking his people. So it means, Christ, to get fired. So that's what that means. So you could say, the worker was sacked. The worker was sacked because of poor performance. So on the job, they were doing a totally garbage work, and they got fired. They got sacked by the employer. So the employee got fired by his or her employer, and that is what it is to be sacked. The last truly incredible video I just did was about being sacked, but this one's about being stacked. Okay, my last video was hardly incredible, it was total crap, but let's do this video. Here is an explanation. The deck is stacked in my favor. If you say the deck is stacked in my favor, it means that I have an advantage. I have an advantage, and it could be at anything. When you refer to the deck, you're talking about a deck of cards. So for example, here's my deck of cards. Oh, you know, I don't play games, I don't like games, but here's some cards. Let's say we got some, oh, that's not a very good ace. We got like 4 aces, whatever. I don't know how to draw an ace. 4 aces, right? Oh my god. If you're playing some sort of game where 4 aces is good, then this is a stacked deck. It means the deck is good. You have good cards. I think. I don't play cards. I don't quite care about cards. But anyway, if the deck is stacked in your favor, and you're talking about something that has nothing to do with cards, so forget cards, it means I have an advantage. So for example, let's say I am in a fight. Right? I'm in a fight, and this is me, let's say. I'm fighting a guy who is, he's only got one arm, he's only got one leg, and he has a blindfold. And he's drunk. The deck is stacked in my favor because he has no chance of winning. He can't see, he can't hear, he's drunk out of his mind, he's only got one arm, one leg. The deck is stacked in my favor. But if you give him his senses back, give him back his arm, and give him like super eyes and a gun, okay, now the deck is stacked in his favor. The deck is stacked in his favor. So there's also another use for the word stacked, and it's not this expression. I'll erase this and show you what I mean. What it stacks up to. What it stacks up to. Now, if something stacks up, that means you're putting one thing on top of another, and you're creating a stack. This is a stack. It could be a stack of pancakes, a stack of dominoes, a stack of cards, a stack of money, anything. So, if you say what it stacks up to, or what does it stack up to, you're saying like, how good is it? What is it worth? So for example, let's say your friend gets a new job, right? Your friend, right here, gets a new job, and it pays him, say, $1 million every year. Wow. You can ask yourself, hey buddy, what does that stack up to? You know, how good is that? And he says, well, you know, it stacks up to a new house, big house, maybe a fancy sports car. Oh, here comes the drawing. Check this out. I'm going to put a spoiler on the back. Wow, that's a nice car. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, so that's what it stacks up to. The new job stacks up to a new car, a new house. That's what it stacks up to. I want to hook this up to something. And similarly, if I take this, see it has a little clip? I stick it in my nose. Ow! Bad idea. Never mind. Hi everyone, welcome to the educational facility. I will be your director. Please take a look at the front board and have a good ride. Okay, tension is, there's two meanings. The first one would be stress. So you could say there is tension in the air. There is tension in the air. Ooh, that's very nice, I know. So, for example, let's say, let's say you have a wedding, right? This is your bride. She has to pretend to be happy, as if this is a good idea. Okay, let's pretend to be happy. I'm getting married. My friends think this is a good idea because we're all excited and we have flowers and I don't care we're putting on $100,000 in debt. This is my special day. Anyway, here's the groom who's confused because he's an idiot getting married. Anyway, so here's this idiot with his woman. And he's all like, "Yeah, look at my wife." Well, let's say his friend gets up here to make a speech. His friend is going to make a speech. He has the microphone like me. Let's pretend that I'm his friend. Yeah, I'd like to congratulate my friend Johnny on his wedding. Hey Johnny. And yeah, your wife is actually a man. That's making some tension because he thinks it's a woman, but it's really a man. That would be a problem, wouldn't it? That creates some tension. So you could say, now there is tension in the air. Whew. Turns out this woman, look, it's a man. There's no dress, it's a man. This guy, you're stupid. Stupid guy. Sheesh. Okay, anyway, there's another word for tension. And that is when you have a piece of rope, or this is actually wire, but I want to hook this up to something and show you. Okay, this is tension. See, right now there's no tension on the wire because it's like shaped like this. But if I pull it, now there's tension on the wire. See how I can move this? There's tension on the wire. So if I draw it here, let's say this is a rope. No tension. If we change this, we make it like this, perfectly straight. That's not perfectly straight, but let's pretend this is exactly straight. Now we can say there is a lot of tension. A lot of tension. Similarly, if I take this, see it has a little clip? I stick it in my nose. Ow! Bad idea. Never mind. Yo, everybody, how's it going? Yeah, exuberance. What is exuberance? It means, like, bam! Wow! Yeah! Do you need more of an explanation, or should I? Okay, yes, I'll explain more. I don't want you to learn from just expressions. I want you to learn from confusing words as well. Exuberance means an outburst. Sorry, I have to get my grammar correct. Outburst or explosion of excitement. Wow, that's a nice explanation, Teacher Phil. Oh, thank you. I'm really good at it. Yeah, really. So, exuberance is an outburst or explosion of excitement. So, for example, let's say that my friend gave me a present. He gave me watercolor paint. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, watercolor. Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. That means that I am expressing my exuberance. Wow, I am expressing my exuberance because I got my watercolors. I got my paint set. It's so good. Wow. Now, do you remember when Mr. Chairman Ben Bernanke of the United States Federal Reserve said that the market had experienced some irrational exuberance? So I'll do my impression of Ben Bernanke. He's bald, so I'll just pretend I have a nice bald spot here. No, I'll go like this. Because the thing is, like, if you want to make fake hair, you have to come down like this, because then you can, like, move it to whichever side, like that, if you want to move your fake hair. But if you want to be bald, you have to, like, go like this. So I'm Ben Bernanke. We believe that the market forces have determined that irrational exuberance has created a problem in the marketplace that can only be corrected with additional funding. Thank you. Thank you. So, that's my explanation of irrational exuberance. And basically what it means, that irrational means stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Exuberance is like, wow. So what happened is people were buying houses everywhere, and the prices were going super high. $360,000 for a house, and that was irrational exuberance, because we all know what happened. The houses are worth nothing. Oh, look at that, 0, 0. This is now 180,000, and the irrational exuberance in the housing market is somewhat over. Thank you for your tea. You're very welcome. It's splendid. Oh my heavens, it looks like I crashed into my bicycle again. Alright, splendid means great. Wonderful. So excellent. Look at that writing. Do you like this T? How it's like, whew, it's very nice. So, splendid. You can use the word splendid by itself just by saying splendid. Like your friend says, I got a new car, and you say splendid. That's great, splendid. Or you can say the dessert was splendid. Splendid. That means the dessert was excellent. Was divine. That N is a nice, there. The dessert was divine. Wow, splendid. Today's quick example here is called upon. So I have 3 ways of using the word upon. And the first way is to say upon finding, or upon seeing, or upon doing. We're really just saying upon plus a verb. Now, you can say upon finding the, we'll say the treasure. For example, if you're looking in an old ship that sunk below the sea, you will find some treasure, maybe, if the people on board had some gold or silver or diamonds or any kind of jewelry. Upon finding the treasure, the man was overjoyed. So overjoyed just means happy. And if you look at the word over, means obviously too much, and joy means happy. So if you're overjoyed, it means you are too happy. So let's rip through the next example. Upon further notice, this just means when I will tell you later. So I'll just put an example here. Upon further notice, please put your car in your garage. Or in the case of a car, I would say park your car. Upon further notice, please park your car in your garage. That means later I will tell you. You can also say until further notice. That's different. That means until further notice, please stop parking next to the museum. Until further notice, this means until we tell you otherwise, please stop parking next to the museum. It just means don't park here until we tell you that you can. Another one, once upon a time. Every fairy tale story starts with once upon a time. Once upon a time there was a man, and he saw his wife, and they got married, and they lived happily ever after. This is really once upon a time. This is only used for silly stories, really. So if we want to go back to the first example, upon seeing the new office, Mr. A was excited. Upon seeing the new office, Mr. A was excited. So when Mr. A saw the new office, he became very excited. If something is tranquil, it means that it is very relaxing and quiet, peaceful and pleasant. So if you want me to write this, relaxing, quiet, peaceful, that's what tranquil is. So you can say the atmosphere is tranquil at the resort. At the resort. You can say resort or resort, either way. The atmosphere is tranquil at the resort. Similarly, you can say the atmosphere is, the atmosphere has tranquility. The atmosphere has tranquility at the resort. So you can say tranquil or tranquility. There's also another way to use this. Tranquilizer. Tranquilizer. Tranquilizer is a drug or sort of poison that makes you sleep instantly. Usually for animals. Usually for animals. So, for example, if you have I'm going to draw a horse. Oh, this is going to be a nice horse. Look at this cool horse. That's a beautiful horse. Look at the size of his head. My heavens. So let's say this horse, all of a sudden, he's going kind of crazy. Woo, running around all over the place, kicking and doing craziness. So let's say we need to tranquilize the horse. So we shoot him up with a dart, like this. Bam! Just take your gun, blast the horse with a tranquilizer dart. Tranquilizer dart. And the horse will fall asleep very quickly. At which point you can say the horse is tranquilized. The horse is tranquilized. The horse is tranquilized. You can also use this for bears. In Canada and the United States, they often have bears that wander or go into neighborhoods that don't want bears. The bears will go through garbage, and the people will often tranquilize the bear and put it back into the forest. An expression today that I'm going to explain. The first one, let's start with whale. So, for example, you know what a whale is. I'm going to draw a whale. Whoa. Wow. That's a whale. Whales are mammals. Of course they're mammals. Yeah, some little bubbles so he can breathe. Well, not so he can breathe out. Of course he has to come to the surface to breathe. Anyway, so that's a whale. Now what if you say, oh my god, that sounded terrible. Okay. I had a whale of a time. What's a whale of a time? This means fun. I had fun. So for example, let's say you went to a baseball game. And you thought the baseball game was excellent. So you said, you know what? I had a whale of a time at the baseball game. That's awesome. Similarly, if you hit the ball very hard, bam! That means you whale the ball. So, I had a whale of a time, and you can say the batter. This is the batter. And the guy throwing the ball, of course, is the pitcher. So the pitcher throws the ball to the batter, and the batter then whales the ball. The batter whales the ball. You can say, I really whaled the ball into the stands, for example. Similarly, you can say, okay, let's say you hit something really hard. You can say, I whaled it. I whaled it, or I whaled on it. So, for example, let's say I'm trying to fix. I shouldn't put my thing there. I should put it here. Let's say I'm trying to fix my bicycle, and let's say I can't get the handlebar off. So I take something to hit it, like a wrench. Say I take my wrench and I really wail on it. I just start wailing on the thing. Just start wailing on it. Then I can say, I wailed on it. I wailed on my bike. Oh my god, on my bike? Let me take a quick spelling break here. On my bike. to fix it. Awesome.